We got Travis Hunter, man, entering in his second season. Reaction to young NFL's star change in how he will be used looks kind of bad. This is what this article is talking about. And it's concerning Travis Hunter's future, man. So at the end of the day, I think the Travis Hunter experiment has finally came to a conclusion, right? And it's the best conclusion in my opinion. And Travis Hunter will be a full-time cornerback and have a chance to master the position finally. Of course, they're still putting out reports saying he will be used on both sides of the football. But this is a clear inclination that he is going to be used as a cornerback. They don't want to hurt his feelings. Like I said, telling this young man that he doesn't play wide receiver anymore hurts his feeling more than anything. It may mentally affect his game if he was told that he still couldn't play receiver, you know? Mm-hmm. If he continued to split both sides of the ball, of the football, I don't think his production would have matched the expectations of Travis Hunter being a number 2 overall draft pick. Not to mention, you know, Jaguars giving up 2 first-round picks plus a second rounder and a fourth rounder just for him meeting the expectations being the number 2 overall pick. That's a lot of expectations, you know. Mm-hmm. And but at the end of the day, being a cornerback, a wide receiver, a two-way player, that is a lot to give up for any position besides a quarterback. 2 first rounders, a second rounder, and a fourth rounder. And not that player needs to be making an impact immediately on your team. Mm-hmm. And here we go. It says, and this is from an insider with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or he has some inside clues or some inside context about what's going on for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it says, from what I understand, they plan to play him as a full-time cornerback and a part-time wide receiver, which is a switch from last year when he played more than double of his snaps at wide receiver, then cornerback, Wolf said. Wolf pointed to the upcoming offseason and an important decision that affected the plan for Hunter to spend more time on defense. They think Travis Hunter can be elite at cornerback and still can be an impact player on offense, Wolf said. They also have Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome II, cornerbacks who are about to be free agents. So they're expected to let at least one of those cornerbacks walk in free agency so Travis Hunter can have the starting spot. Sounds like it's more forced than given. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's more forced than anything. And obviously, with Greg Newsome II and Monteric Brown hitting free agency, there's going to be a need to fill these positions. Monteric Brown, he came up and stepped up and surprised everyone that watches the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was playing pretty good football at cornerback, and that wasn't expected. He was able to replace Travis Hunter and pick up the slack for Travis Hunter not being there after he entered, after Travis Hunter went on IR. And I know there's some people that would disagree and think that Travis Hunter could be an elite receiver, or thinks he could be a more productive at wide receiver. I disagree. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, right? I think he would have some success playing wide receiver, but I don't see him becoming an all-pro caliber type of wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think what helped with this decision as well is when Travis Hunter went on IR and is out for the rest of the season, the offense start clicking. They start moving the ball up and down the field. Trevor Lawrence are looking better. So he's thinking like, we can just focus on, we losing 2 corners. Well, at least we got to make a decision on 2 corners, and we already got him right here. So lock him in at one corner and make a decision on another. Then you take care of the defense side of the ball, and the offense is moving like great, honestly, once Travis Hunter got. So that helps with that decision of like, we're just going to put him over here for now and work him in on the offense.
Because there was a lot of expectations for Travis Hunter. So that really causes confusion within your game plan or the offensive coordinator, what he really wants to call, because you have to get the ball to Travis Hunter. You have to make sure he meets the expectations. And when he wasn't really having that impact that they needed for him to have at wide receiver, things started to change, And then you have Parker Washington. Parker Washington was the X factor in this whole scenario. For him, when he's a 6th round pick, I think he's in his 2nd or 3rd season, probably heading into his 4th season, right? But he came in and showed the Jacksonville Jaguars that he can play at a super high level. He can do it all. He can play from on the inside. He can play on the outside. He can run the mid-range, mid routes, and he can be tough as well. So automatically that gave them the comfortability that they have more than enough wide receivers in their stable. So they don't need to continue to try to force the issue with Travis Hunter being the wide receiver when they have plenty more wide receivers. Now, on the other hand, Brian Thomas Jr., he had, I think, a league high 9 drops or so. He had a ton of drops this season, along with some other wide receivers as well. But at the end of the day, this is the correct decision, and Travis Hunter is made for cornerback. Ultimately, an offense can design plays and force the ball to a wide receiver, and it may look good on paper, kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb, I think he's one of those receivers where the football is forced to him, so on paper it looks great, but it doesn't translate to winning. Now, George Pickens, he's a different type of receiver. He's a different maker. They have two different skill sets. And for Travis Hunter to become an elite wide receiver for Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, there are so many uphill battles ahead of him that he would have to overcome. And no, none of these wide receivers gained over 1,000 yards this season. They all was in the 700 and 600 range, from Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I know people believe that Travis Hunter can succeed on offense and, be that dynamic wide receiver, but he would need to have receiving yards over 1,500 yards and or more to justify drafting him with the number 2 overall pick.
Right.
He is a dynamic player and he has tons of ability, but it's just too many variables for him, to reach the number 2 overall pick potential at wide receiver. And that's Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. But hey, I like what Trevor Lawrence did this year. Trevor Lawrence got better and better and better. But go ahead. What do you got?
I was gonna say, so you go like his cornerback play, it will make it worth all that to get that number 2 pick. You think so? If you just stay on the corner side, it'll make it worth it.
Like I said, number two pick for anyone to meet the expectations being number 2 pick is exceptionally hard, But don't get it twisted. At cornerback for Travis Hunter, the sky is the limit, with his instincts, ball skills, and his ability to transition in and out of breaks. He can become an all-pro cornerback in Jacksonville instantly, Just that Jacksonville needs him to have an immediate impact for the defense because of Greg Newsome and Monteric Brown set to hit free agency. So Travis Hunter, I like for him to show up big this season. You know why?
Why is that?
Does anyone knows about Jacksonville Jaguars defense? Do they remember? And now Jacksonville don't get that much coverage. They don't get a lot of attention and TV time and things like that. But the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, they played the run well.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville Jaguars defense was number 1 against the run. And when you're number 1 against the run, that forces the team to pass. I remember watching them play against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans could not run the football at all, and it forced them to pass. And when you force a team to pass, you understand that these are pass plays coming up, so you call your best defensive coverages against these pass plays. And all that means for a guy like Travis Hunter with great instincts, great ball skills, it's time to pick off some passes, baby. It's time for Travis Hunter to pick off the ball.
Get it and make them plays.
Yeah, he's going to make some plays because no one can run the ball on Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Now, that was last season. So they have to come in this season and, play just as well as they did last season, or else,
Should they put him back there at least? Should he at least go up back there?
I'm saying don't put the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Make sure they continue to play good ball on defense, stop and run, because you start putting the pressure on Trevor Lawrence, things are going to get real shaky. Then the whole team, everyone get confused. They might start saying, put Travis Hunter back on the offense. He's a star wide receiver because Trevor Lawrence just is looking horrible. He needs some help.
You can't start putting the pressure on him like that. But do we think he should go back to punt return, at least put his hands on the ball some?
After he gets comfortable with one position first, right? He gets 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it takes for him to get comfortable at cornerback first. Then you can start moving him around, maybe put him at a couple of plays at wide receiver. Yes, you can let him return punts and things like that. But again, you want to make sure he stays healthy as well. Him playing both sides of the football could good as well.
Played a part to the injury.
Yeah, played a part to his injury, or too much wear and tear, caused the injury to happen. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it happens with Travis Hunter. But actually, too, what happens with these two-way players like Travis Hunter? I think there were issues with Jacksonville trying to figure out on both sides of the ball when and where to play him. That's hard to figure out if you're the defensive coordinator and you're offensive coordinator and you have this stud of a talent and you're the offensive coordinator and you have these designed plays for him. You want him ready to go at all times because you ready to draw this play up that you have designed for him because he's such a dynamic player. And then as well, the defensive coordinator is looking like, all right, offense is about to go 3 and out. All right, I need you. We're about to go man to man. I need you to cover X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So Jacksonville just wasn't ready to handle Travis Hunter the way they said they was going to handle Travis Hunter. Jacksonville promised their fans Travis Hunter will be a full-time wide receiver and a full-time cornerback. They tried their best to meet the expectations of what they had for Travis Hunter, and it didn't work out.
And that's why you seen a whole different Jacksonville Jaguars team after he got hurt. It was less confusion, less worried about where to put him and when to pim him. It just it was more smooth game plan. It turned out to be a whole different team. And it's because of that, what you said, that confusion.
That confusion, being the number 2 pick, the expectations of Travis Hunter, they were making him the priority before, let's say winning the game, because we have to make sure that he does good. We want to win the game along with making sure Travis Hunter is the reason why we win the game. But when they decided to, put him on IR, or the injury took place, or they took a step back from putting all the pressure on Travis Hunter, then you seen, Jacksonville Jaguars prosper, But the pressure is on for Jacksonville to prove that Travis Hunter was worth at least being number 2 overall pick. And if not, that was a bad gamble. They could have just waited at the number 5 pick, and I'm sure Travis Hunter would still have been available. But they wanted to gamble because of the hype and let all that stuff get to him. And now they have to make this gamble pay off.